Hello everyone, and welcome to another Tim Rex episode. As I'm sure you've heard by now, Solo, a Star Wars story, has just come to theaters to mediocre reviews.
Mediocre?
I haven't gotten to see it yet, and I don't really plan to unless I'm dragged into the theater or have nothing better to do. But can you blame me? Who on earth actually wanted Lucasfilm and Disney to put their time and effort into making a movie about a young Han Solo, who looks about as old, if not older than he did in the original? So this makes no sense anyways. Like, come on, really? Out of all the characters, planets, and concepts that are out there in the vast universe of Star Wars, Disney chose to make a movie on Han Solo? And just the title, Solo, sounds like it's trying too hard to be sophisticated and classy. But anyways, I'm not here to rant about Solo itself, complain about the raging SJW producer Kathleen Kennedy, or cry about my childhood being ruined. Trust me, my childhood was ruined a long time ago. Instead, this video is to show that there are such better subjects in the Star Wars universe to make a movie on than a bad Harrison Ford knockoff and a pansexual Lando. How about making a film on The Force Unleashed, one of the bounty hunters, something relating to the Clone Wars, Republic Commando, a Darth Vader spin-off? When is Ewan McGregor gonna get his own Obi-Wan movie? Or maybe something totally new we haven't seen before. Or maybe, just maybe, create a movie based on the best Star Wars game ever. Among the best of gaming's 6th generation, and personally, my second favorite thing that is Star Wars behind The Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. A fantastically crafted, well-written, and shocking Star Wars RPG from 2003. But this video won't be a love letter to Coder. Maybe I'll write in my favorite things down the line. But to show what I think Disney could have done instead of this waste of time that nobody cares about, and maybe they could still do this. Just give me credit as the chief writer and we'll be good. So this is what I would do if I were running things at Lucasfilm instead of, that. Also, major spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't played this game yet. It's been out for 15 years already, so I have no idea what you've been waiting for. Play it. Anyone who's played Knights of the Old Republic already knows the basic rundown. A few short years after the Galactic Republic has been crippled by the Mandalorian Wars, the Sith begin their ferocious conquest of the galaxy with what seems like an infinitely large army and ships. They are led by the new Lord of the Sith, Malak, who just offed his former master, Darth Revan. The main character you play as is a member of the Republic military with a limited memory who is Force sensitive. With the help of the Jedi Bastila, the veteran pilot Karth, and some others, you have to go on a quest to stop the Sith from taking over the galaxy. Or to take it all for yourself, depending on how you choose to play it. This is a role-playing game after all. So, I kind of lied a little before. To retell this story, I don't want to make it into a movie. I want Coder to be an entire saga, a trilogy that encapsulates this large story that spans many planets, characters, and action sequences with some narrow escapes. Something like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but with Star Wars. Part 1 of the trilogy will cover the opening sequence on the Endar Spire, up to the protagonist becoming a Jedi on Dantooine. Like the game, he meets Karth during their escape of the Endar Spire, and they crash land together on the city planet Taris. They begin their search for Bastila, who also crash landed on the planet, getting involved with Davik and the gang wars in the lower city. Bastila gets rescued after a swoop race, or gang war or something, and then they fly to Dantooine on the Ebon Hawk, stolen from Davik as the Sith blow the planet to smithereens, in their pursuit of the legendary Jedi. Bastila is special for her use of battle meditation, a Force ability capable of turning the tide of a battle. Towards the end of the movie is the whole Dantooine bit where the main character is taught to use the Force due to his extreme Force sensitivity and strange connection to Bastila. To wrap it up, the main three find a first star map in a tomb as part of a quest given by the Jedi Council. On this trip, Davik's bounty hunter, Calo Nord, comes to get his revenge as the climax of the first part. Yeah, he's only a small villain in the grander scheme of things, but Malak is present in the background. He's not really a big deal yet. After Calo's defeat, the crew is sent to find the rest of the star maps and uncover whatever secrets Revan and Malak unlocked before them. Part 2 is going to be the planet-wide hunt for the star maps. Excluding the one on Dantooine, there are 4 of them, but we should probably cut it down to 2 more just for the sake of good pacing. First, the characters set out to the oceanic planet Manon. What makes this planet interesting is not only the beautiful scenery, but the struggle between the Republic and Sith to harvest resources here. Manon is officially neutral, but we see the Sith get the upper hand and eventually take control of the planet, reminding us how big of a threat they are. So we have the star map search, plus this conflict to deal with for the first third of the film. Next, the characters flee to Kashyyyk, where they meet Jolie, who guides them through the dangerous forest floor. Perhaps they get into a few scraps or so with the wildlife, but the main point of his character is to show how the Jedi aren't as great and noble as they seem, and perhaps some of their philosophies are just plain wrong, such as not forming attachments. And then this comes into conflict with Bastila, who is a strict, by-the-book Jedi. Maybe breaking down these rules, the protagonist and Bastila begin to form a romance, like how you can in the game. All this setup about how shady the Jedi are will come around in the third act, as the heroes are captured by the Sith, as they return to Dantooine to reveal their findings. This is where the big reveal takes place, that the main character is Darth Revan. After his ship was attacked as he was confronted by the Jedi, he had to be revived by Bastila, which explains their Force connection. And then the Jedi decided to wipe your memory and use you to fight in the war against the Sith. This is some pretty shady stuff for a group of peacekeepers. I liked in The Last Jedi how Luke realized that these guys weren't actually all that great and needed to end. Sadly, the film backtracked on those good ideas, but anyways, the group now has to escape Malak's flagship, the Leviathan. In the process, Bastila sacrifices herself and gets captured by the Sith Lord. Now skip forward a year or two for part 3. You probably know where this is going already. The maps lead the crew to the Starforge, but have to shut down a tractor beam on a nearby planet to allow the Republic fleet to launch a final assault, similarly to Return of the Jedi. Then Bastila reappears as evil, but retreats back to the Starforge after a short confrontation. The battle begins, but Revan has to eliminate Bastila, who is using her battle meditation against the Republic. So they fight again, and Bastila will die, hopefully causing heartbreak if this whole series has been written well enough. Her battle meditation is then broken, allowing the Republic to continue to push against the Sith. Finally comes the climactic battle between the apprentice and his former master. Revan decides this to be his chance to make up for his dark past. The other protagonists are held in forced stasis as the two Sith Lords duke it out. After an epic battle, Revan gets the upper hand, wins, and the galaxy is saved. The end. Rip Bastila. Instantly, the first roadblock I see is that everyone who's played the game will already know the big twist, that your character is Darth Revan. They're gonna spoil it for everyone else and then no one will be surprised. What I propose to remedy this is to let the audience know early on, so it won't be saved for the end as some huge reveal. Instead, the movies should allow tension to build up, as we the audience are unsure of whether or not he'll return to his dark ways. Revan will get heavy choices to make between the light and dark, leaving us on the edge of our seat, guessing which one he'll choose. Even go as far as to give him a few selfish choices in the beginning of the saga, but repent over time as he gets closer to Bastila and his new friends. As for Karth, yeah, maybe more can be done with him besides blasting Sith. I'd pull out the stuff about his son joining the Sith, but instead of convincing his son that he's on the wrong team like in the game, maybe play it up a bit more. Karth is now torn between fulfilling his duty to the Republic or to his family. He's all about being a good pilot at first, but changes his steadfastness and saves his son instead of killing him. This would be a nice arc for him. Oh, and cast Patrick Dempsey in the role. The moment I first saw him in that weird movie Enchanted, I instantly knew he should be in this role. If not, then I'd cast Nathan Fillion. He'd fit well too. I've pretty much already gone over what I'd do with Jolie and Bastila. Jolie points out the flaws with the Jedi, which begin to sink in with Revan and Bastila. While everyone else is finding redemption, she becomes corrupted and refuses to change. She's grown bitter at the Jedi Order for ripping her from all previous connections and not allowing her to love, especially when it comes to Revan. Jolie deals with his disdain for the Jedi by quitting, but Bastila decides to turn. This bitterness will be the end of her. I know you can turn her back to the light in game, but hey, there can only be one path for the films. I didn't mention him before, but HK-47 can join as well, along with Canderous. HK providing some comedic levity with his cruel remarks and cynicism, and Canderous being a tough mercenary who doesn't buy all this light side, dark side stuff. Almost like Han Solo, but a bit more evil in him than good. Of course, Lord Malak is the main antagonist as I described before. Something I certainly appreciated from the game is the build up to his reveal. At first, we just see the Sith, then we get a glimpse at his backside while hearing his voice, and then we finally get to see him. Malak also has a Darth Vader moment towards the end when we get to see what's under the mask. I love this moment, it needs to be in the film. Just this visual tells us how much he's been through, and adds a sense of mystery to the character. He's clearly been through hell, but we don't know exactly what happened to make him into the monster he is now. This is how you make Malak a worthy villain. He doesn't get some intricate backstory to make us sympathize with him. No, as the great Hatching Pete once said, the magic is in the mystery. Once the mystery's gone, so is the magic. So slowly build and add little details that make us wonder more about him. Also, remember Malak's main flaw is cowardice. It is Sith tradition for the apprentice to kill the master once they've grown more powerful. This way, the strongest is always on top. But Malak took the easy way out. He ordered Revan's ship to be bombed once the Jedi ambushed him. Malak avoided the confrontation and needs to redeem himself for his cowardly actions. There's that word again. He sees the final fight in this series as his way to make up for this. He wants redemption, but the wrong version of it. Get all this right and bam, you've got a great villain on your hands. Why has nobody made this yet? Like, serially, these movies would make mad cash. I would pre-order those tickets as the teaser trailer drops. I mean it. Employees at Disney, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, what are you doing just sitting there? Go call up some writers and get this thing into production. Jeez, why is some small-time YouTuber coming up with all the good ideas while these executives at Disney greenlit a Han Solo movie? This is what Lucasfilm should have done instead. This should be the future of Star Wars, not Solo, not Luke milking sea aliens, and not some extreme political agenda. Make a 3-part saga based on Knights of the Old Republic, and I will die a happy dinosaur. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to please leave a like and subscribe for more Tim Rex content. See you next week.